delighted today to be recording a conversation with Matt Turner, who's the head of the prep school at Rossall School in the UK. Welcome, Matt.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So we're here at the Radisson Hotel here in Johannesburg. We've got a networking dinner tonight. You've been spending a few days here in Johannesburg meeting people, talking about your school and working with children coming over,
Yes.
looking for prep school education.
Yeah.
Perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about Rossall School, first of all, and the kind of children you work with.
Oh, well, thank you. Rossall is a very special place. I'm the head of the prep school, so I deal with the children from 4-year-olds to 11-year-olds. But we also have a nursery, so Rossall itself goes from 0 to 18.
Right.
We have 3-month-olds actually with us. We don't do boarding for those, though.
Okay.
But we have the children from boarding from age around 7 onwards, and we're a school of circa 850.
Is it set in the countryside? Paint a picture of the school.
I mean, the school itself has the best of everything, really. We're a beach school, so we are literally on the beach. In fact, we bought the beach from Queen Victoria way back when, so we are a beach school, and we thoroughly get stuck into using all of the beach school elements within the prep school, and we even have our own hockey called Ross Hock that's played on the beach. So it's quite an eclectic site.
You've got traditions there. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a brilliant site because we have our own astronomy centre. We have ample grounds as well, 165 acres. So it's a really great site. All the sports facilities. It's fantastic.
So it's your first trip to South Africa, is it? Yeah. And Johannesburg in particular. I mean, what is it that made you kind of come out and make this trip? What was it that sort of prompted you to get on a plane and come over here to speak to people?
Well, we were invited by Mark Brooks Education, and we work closely with Mark in terms of bringing over children to board in the UK, and I jumped at the chance. It's somewhere I've always wanted to visit, and actually what was built into our trip has been visits to schools. So we've been to a couple of local schools within the area of Johannesburg, which has been enlightening to listen to the similar problems that they're facing, or similar challenges that they're facing in South Africa to what we're facing back in the UK. But from a personal perspective, I think it was always something that I wanted to do, to actually visit this part of the world as well. So it definitely ticked 2 boxes.
Great. And what's your perception been of, the understanding of the British ethos and system by people you're meeting here? Are they sort of very clear on how everything works, or has there been any surprises, I guess, in your conversations with people?
No, I think most of what we discussed has been sort of well known throughout the region. But I think what we have found is that I mentioned it just a moment ago, the challenges that we're facing, particularly post-COVID, are very similar in terms of the schools in the UK and in South Africa. So I think it's been really good to actually discuss and find ways to meet those challenges together, and do so with a joined-up mentality and way of thinking, which has been great.
Do you think that the brand of British education has a strong currency in places like South Africa and around the world?
Well, certainly from what the parents that we've been meeting, we had an event here at the weekend. We had some coffee and discussions as part of Mark Brooks Education, and that was a brilliant opportunity to sit down and talk to parents and really get into the nitty-gritty of what is it exactly that they're looking for if they were to relocate to the UK. What kind of educational system would they be going into, and what are the things that they would want from it? And actually, there are a lot of similarities between the things that we do in the UK. But certainly, I think we're held in a very high regard in terms of the education that we offer.
So, given that you deal with slightly younger children, are you often talking to people about a relocation to the UK where the whole family's coming in to live, rather than necessarily sending a teenager to boarding school in the UK? What sort of scenarios are you working with, or are you finding coming from here?
It's a bit of both, really. I mean, it really is a developing market in terms of the boarding school education. And we do find what happens is that we have a lot of people inquiring about Rossall, particularly the signature programs that we offer. I'll come to those in a moment if I may. But we have a lot of parents inquiring about it, and then what happens is they look at it for their teenagers in terms of going through to senior school, progressing through, going through to then study either their A-levels or the International Baccalaureate as a way to channel them into universities. But that often brings around siblings coming as well. So, and they often are younger siblings, and I think once they actually start to explore what Rossall is like and the family that we have within the school, they then look at bringing the family as well, or certainly sending a younger sibling to board also.
Because often the goal is, say, UK university education, and actually, but you're working back to make sure the foundations are there so that they're successful in secondary schools. Is that part of the long-term picture for some of the families that are looking at it?
I think absolutely. I think I sit as part of the senior leadership team, so I'm involved with the discussions within the sixth form, the senior school, and then all the way down to our 3-month-olds. So I see that journey and the discussions and the plan for the educational journey that those children go through all the way through. So in terms of coming out here to South Africa, I'm not looking to try to support families with their understanding of that through journey within our school, with the accumulation of actually, yes, getting them to university, whether it be a UK university or a European or even American university, or potentially even coming back over to South Africa. But the main part of that really is just helping them to actually understand that all the way through journey.
In some cases, well, the age range of your children, you're dealing with some quite young children, and if they're coming over to board from age of 7, for example, what kind of support do you help? How do you support them to make sure that that is a success?
Well, it's huge. I mean, right from the word go, we're actually within. The world changed, I think, didn't it, when COVID arrived, and actually Zoom and technology and all of the video conferencing that was able to happen has meant that we've been able to meet the children, talk to the children right before they arrive, a long time before they get to the school. So that journey starts the minute that inquiry takes place, that initial inquiry takes place. And from a personal perspective, if it's a child that's coming into the preparatory school, I'm meeting with them online right from the start. And we're a really inclusive school. We've got 61 nationalities at Rossall, so it's a truly international school. And we're used to actually welcoming new pupils in. Once that journey has actually begun, we then introduce them to their house parents, whether that be online or part of their initial visits to the school. And we certainly involve the parents in that journey, because that's a huge part. We've got to make sure that the parents are comfortable with leaving their children with us at school. And we really do act in loco parentis with the children, because we do act as their parents when they're there, because we care about each and every one of them as though they're our own.
And the admissions process is more driven on references and observations and discussions for younger children than tests and examinations.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we do test and assess the children when they come in, but that's more around finding where they sit in terms of their current cohort to make so that they can access the curriculum. But fundamentally, as they progress, there's more of an element of that, because obviously the accumulation is going to be sitting exams and getting excellent results, which is something that we're well known for.
So with the pandemic, must have really impacted the school, because you've got such an international, 61 countries represented. Are you pleased we're emerging from the situation?
Yeah.
How did you see it impact the school, and what do you see now going forward?
Well, obviously the impact was huge in terms of everyone involved in the school, the parents, the children, the staff. I mean, that was a huge impact on everybody, and a global impact. I think what we did as a school was exceptionally good, right the way from the prep school with ourselves all the way through to senior school and sixth form. We were online from day one, supporting our pupils, not just from an academic viewpoint, but also from a pastoral viewpoint as well. In fact, I phoned every parent in my prep school right the way through the pandemic to make sure they were okay.
Touch.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's really important and says a lot about who we are. And I think now we're backfilling areas that may have been missed in terms of the curriculum, ensuring that the children are ready to progress and transition through to senior school and through to sixth form and through to university. And ensuring that the mental health and well-being of all of our pupils is put first and foremost in terms of supporting their journey, because there's a lot of social interactions and things like that that have been missed, and we're trying to equip the pupils for the next stages of their life after such a tumultuous time that they've been through.
And in terms of fees, I mean, everything's sort of included in certain packages that goes on your website. It's all very transparent. I mean, how do you describe the fees to prospective parents?
I think the first point of call is always our website. We direct parents. It's all of the information is on there. It's very clear to follow. I mentioned earlier we have our signature programs. We've got our International Piano Academy, we have our Broadway Music Theatre Academy, and we have the #1 golf school in the UK. So we obviously have our golf academy as well. So there are signature programs that are there to offer opportunity and challenge at every level.
Sounds amazing, yeah. And we're at the end of a busy year this year. People are looking forward to 2023. I mean, have you got more travel plans? Are you going to be returning to South Africa? Are you heading anywhere else to meet parents and talk to people about UK education?
Well, I'm absolutely hoping so. This is the first, I was employed 3.5 years ago at the school. I was a few months into my tenure when COVID came. So the initial plans that I had were to go out and travel and tell the world about Rossall School. I think that is certainly the plan now, and if the response that we've had from the people of Johannesburg and South Africa is anything to go by, then this would be my #1 location to come back to. That's absolutely
amazing, Matt. Well, look, I look forward to sharing this interview. Great to meet you, and look forward to seeing you this evening.
Thank you so much.
The latest technical content delivered through global conversations with professionals for professionals.